Okay, we got our washer that kind of just should just pop on. Shouldn't it? Question mark. Hold on. Oh, I'm doing it right. Kind of had to force it on. Kind of walk her down. If I mess it up, I mess it up right. You can't be afraid to break some eggs. Can't be afraid to mess parts up. I think this is how it goes. That worked quite well, actually. Just walked her down and it just popped into place. Yeah, disregard that wear. We're gonna pretend we don't see it. Okay, that worked out quite well, actually. Obviously, it's going to change our clearance because that's the corresponding shim for the output shaft. We'll need to know how thick this shim is. Let's zero that out. Come on, 0. Because that'll come into play later when we set our end play. Right, we got 17 thou. I'll double check it. But we kind of need to know that for our when we set up our end play. Okay, this little shim goes right there underneath the bearing. So we'll drop this in place. And we'll put the planetary in her. It's right there. Got our bearing and our shim in there, right there. Okay, she dropped down. Rotates freely. Our parking pole. So we should be where we need to be. Where the heck is that thing? There it is. Parking pole engages. So we should be where we need to be. Got our band in there. Got that guy sitting in there. It's just a cheapie. Just a Summit band. I got this back apart to lube her up. Said I checked them dry. Just to get proper clearance. We'll reassemble this guy. Get her all lubed up. And then slide her in. I got to build a pump yet for it too. Just a stock pump, but we got to modify it. And then we got to hope our end play is good. Here's that little shim that goes in here. We got a little fuzz. Here's that little shim that goes in there. That's to adjust. Focus. That's just to adjust your end play for the drum. But we're good. We don't, with the shim in there, it was a little too tight. So we don't need her. And then this is the old end play washer that goes against the pump. We have a new one. This guy here, 61 thou. Put this back together. Lube up our pieces, our parts. Toss her back in. And then we should be pretty good. All right, we got her all back together. Got her all pre-lubed. Time for this guy. This little fella right here. Come out of the package. He slips right in there. Doesn't matter how far this guy slides down. The input shaft puts it where it needs to be. Gotta show you here. This guy only slides down so far till it hits that step. So we'll put a little bit of lube on there just to stick it in the hole. And then when you put the input shaft in, it'll find its place to be. Okay, we got that guy stuck in there. We'll throw a little bearing on. We'll give her some of that stickum goop. Throw some on the bearing. And we'll plunk her in the hole. All right, we got her set up on some tires and an old blanket. Got the drum in there, the band on her. Had to loosen up the servo to get the struts in there. Got her tightened down a little bit just to hold it. Yeah, I gotta pull the shaft back out. Gotta put the little sealing rings on the shaft there. Let's use that to line things up. All right, so here we go. We threw the pump back in her, torqued her down. I still got to pull it back out and modify it. We have no gasket in there. What I'm going to do is loosen off my band. It's dead right now. And then we'll flip this thing upside down, check our end play. Do the old read case instructions. Input, output shaft, end play, 30 to 54. Okay, got my dial indicator. We got her set back up. I'll push on the input shaft. We have, get that input shaft pushed up here. 34. Plus the 2 thou for the gasket. Oh, we lost our 0 mark. Right there. 34. 34 and a half. Okay, so we have 34 and a half. We'll call it 34. And our gasket is 2 thou, 34, 35, 36. So we're end play is 30 to 54. We're at 36. That's right on spec. Seems like a lot to me, but I don't do many transmissions. So seems like a bunch, but it's on spec. I don't do transmissions. I'll do some more research and do some more checking to make sure that I'm doing it right. And then we'll carry on. And we skipped ahead a little bit. Got the tail shaft on her. Start putting the pump together. It's still grungy. I got to clean her all up, but got some mods to do on the pump. And then put her in. We'll focus our attention to the pump. We'll change out our stator support. And we'll do our mods that we need to do. And put her in. Then we'll build the dump kit. Alright, so we got our stator support swapped out. Didn't record it. I probably should have. I just pressed it out at the shop. Put a little... I used a piece of chrome ollie for support. And I pressed her out in the press that way. Press the new one in. Bingo bango. I measured the depth, how far it was. And lined up my oil hole. There's a couple holes in there. You see my 2 red marks. Pressed her in. Bingo bango. Deal. So got the trans over here. The pan's just sitting on there for chilling. I got the drum in it. Let's get this scooshed around. It's just sitting in there. Hanging out. Figured I'd build a pump. And then we'll throw the pump in there. And we'll carry on with the process. Picked up some cooler line fittings and a T for our dump valves, which will be here. We'll get those guys sorted out. I may put a pressure regulator system on it too. I will see. We got our new stator support in. I think we're gonna, that little guy there, we're gonna go after him. We're not gonna get too crazy on it. We do have a new gear set. So there's that. And then, yeah, for what we're doing for the time being, that'll work. Different route. Stock tail shaft, stock output, stock planetary. So we're gonna have to leave quite soft. There's plans for a new output shaft and a new planetary set. That stuff's expensive as heck right now. Not too worried about it. We gotta get her going. Maybe that one will break and take the case out and mush everything up, and then we'll be forced to replace it all again. Maybe not. Anyway, I'll build a pump and then put the pump in the transmission. Got the primer valve out. That's sitting here somewhere. Threw the little spring away. Pulled the roll pin out. Whoopsies. Now we're going to tap it with 1/4-inch pipe tap. Put a plug in there. I still got to drill out a bunch of holes. I should have drilled out. There's a hole there I got to drill out. A couple there. And then the feed holes. Yeah, I should have did that when the stator tube was out. But we're here now. We'll put our primer valve in backwards. So it plugs that passageway. And then we should be good. Another little thing I do is just toss a hole in there. Because that's your pump pressure out. And that puts some oil pressure behind your gear. To make the pump live. Attempt to make the pump live on trans brake application. Went a little far, got a little nick in there. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, so tag the hole in there. I'll clean it all up. This is your suction side. That's your discharge side, your pressure side. So I'm robbing some pressure to put some, hold on, grab the gear. So with the trans brake application, it's a lot of stress. Built a lot of pressure. Hold on, hold on. Can I get her in there? There we go. Oh, there we go. And this gear drives this way into this housing, wipes the housing out. So that oil hole right there adds a little bit of oil pressure. Well, adds all the pressure behind this half moon crescent area of the gear. Tries to make the gear live. Tries to make the pump live a little bit longer. Anywho, we will carry on. I got all these holes drilled out. 1/4-inch. I got that guy. Oh, sorry. I got that guy. I got that guy. That guy. That guy. And then I got this guy, and this guy. Drilled out the 1/4. Drilled out the 1/4-inch. And then this guy I got to drill. But I need to have a long bit. Because I didn't think ahead and I didn't do the mods before I put in the stator tube. Alright, so we got her drilled out, 1/4-inch drill. We got our plug in our primer valve. We should be able to put this together. And we'll put our new gears on and we'll get this thing together. We'll tap our new seal in first. That way we don't have to fight with the stator tube coming out. Okay. Then, alrighty. So we have the pump upside down in an old case. Just to line up the two halves. We'll torque our bolts down and then we'll move forward. Alright, we're going to plumber for dump valves. We already drilled a hole in the case and ran a bulkhead through. Kind of show you what we got going on here. Put up my Ziploc baggie full of stuff. Here's standard bulkhead. -6. With your standard bulkhead, the -6 bulkhead. But I put sealing washers on them. These little guys here. Those little guys there. Well, obviously pull the nut off. Slap the sealing washer on, put her on. And then a little bit of sealant. There we go. There's no valve body in here yet. Which brings us to these things. Okay, we have a stock valve body here. And we got our trans brake one right here. Got this apart. Where you want to drill into for your dump valve. All right. So where you want to drill into for this dump valve is right here. I messed this one up. A while ago I was trying to go with a 3/8 pipe and I broke it open. That's okay. Some of these pedestals have these little steel balls pushed into them. Push this one out and then drill 1/8-inch pipe tap. I went too big, broke it out. But she comes in through here. We'll get this one apart. Get this aside. Yeah, because this is the passageway you want to drill into for your dump valve. Get this factory one out of the way. It's that passage right there. get this apart. I'll have to set you aside for a second. This thing separated. This passage right here is your dump. Fluid comes in there, goes out there. Through this channel here. So we're going to drill a hole right through there. And so we're going to drill a hole right through the body. And we're going to tap it, 1/8 pipe tap. I'm going to drill a hole right through there. And we're going to tap her with a 1/8 pipe tap. And then we'll put a fitting in, we'll have a dump valve. Alright, so we got her taped up. We'll drill a hole in there between those 2 bolt holes. Then we'll drill a bigger hole, and then we'll tap it to our 1/8 pipe. And then we'll have a valve body modified for a dump valve. Awesome. Let's carry on. Got it all tapped out. I haven't torqued these little guys yet. We're still missing our rooster comb. I'm waiting for that to show up. But we'll throw it back in the tranny just to have the parts in one place. I'm not going to torque anything up. It's got to come back out anyway to put the rooster comb and the parking spring pawl kicky thingy in. But I don't want parts scattered around anymore. So we got that all got that modified. Well, here's the other end of that bulkhead fitting through the case there. So we got that going on. And then this there'll be a line from here to a fitting from here. A fitting out of here to a line to here. And that dumps that converter charge pressure. Alright, we got a rooster comb. Got a dipstick. And a converter. That guy right there. I'll get that back out. And we'll get this rolled over and I'll put the rooster comb in and we'll put our shift shaft in. It's just chilling. It's not attached to jackal. So I'll get the valve body back off. We got it drilled out for our return lines for the dump valves. I got my dump we got my dump feed to the valves to be here, mounted off of there. And then we got our returns, and we got a fitting here. I was thinking with the hose going around here, we'll get there when we get there. I was just thinking, maybe I'll run the hose down there to the valve, but we'll get there when we get there. And we do have the anti-ballooning plate on our converter. That's a turbo spline to go with our turbo spline shaft. All right, we got our rooster comb in. Got our shifter and our guide. All working good. Got our trans brake solenoid on there. A little valve in there. Oh, I had to modify our little bracket a bit. Which goes on here. Had to give her some clearance. But we're getting there.